Hey y'all, this is Trish checking in, your host for Echoes Through the Ethers, Beyond the Root to the Seed. I am going to jump right into my share today. I wanted to come in and talk about how I have been evolving in my perspective. So today's conversation is rooted in perspectives, which is a point of view, right? And how your point of view can help you and or hurt you, as well as it can also shift your timeline. And my last share, I talked about shifting timelines, so you should check that out. The title is something like Saturn's Rings, Overcoming Saturn's Rings, or something like that, Timelines. I talked about that. But this particular share, I am discussing my experience with perspectives and point of views and how important they are. So, what made me jump into this is because I shared a conversation with a family member recently. And that conversation, we talked about perspectives. And just to give you guys a little bit of information about me and just being transparent so you know I'm coming from personal experience with this, I am the type of person that isolates. I isolate a lot. And in this conversation with this particular family member, I was pretty much uncovering the reason why I isolate and detached from family. And me and this elder was having a conversation about this. And, you know, sometimes you do things that you feel, but you don't have the words to yet quite identify why you did it or move the way you moved. And so in this conversation, I kind of sensed why I did it because it didn't feel right. I felt, disconnected and some other things, but I never really sat down and journaled or conversed about specifics. And so in this conversation, it was quite refreshing because it wasn't necessarily about telling her something to help her. It was aspects coming up that I needed to remember why I did it. You know what I mean? And so I was so glad that conversation came up, because the way things come up, it either comes up through a conversation, it comes up in a memory, it can come up in a feeling. It can come up, there's other ways too. Things can come up to be revisited and be reevaluated in different ways. A dream, the universe gives it to you in different ways, or somebody can say something that can trigger a conversation about it. You're just doing a daily check-in via your journal. It can be a lot of ways where things can come up, and I believe in the fishbowl effect. When you're in the fishbowl, you can't see outside the fishbowl unless you've trained yourself to do that. But most people can't see outside the fishbowl until after they get out of it, and then they reflect and look back. So back to the story. In this particular situation, we start having a conversation. I started telling her why I isolated, and I was just like, the reason why I isolate is because there were certain things that happened that I experienced with certain people in the family. And because it went that way, and I'm gonna stop being with it and just say it. So I've had aunties where I've went over their house and we've had conversations about things. No, that's not the right one. I've had aunties where I went over their house when I was 10 and 11 years old, and they didn't let me sit on the couch. Their kids was all sitting on the couch. their husband, whatever, was sitting on the couch. But me, I had to sit on the floor. So me at the age of 10 and 11, in my mind, the way I thought about it was, she won't let me sit on her couch because I'm dark-skinned. And because she probably feel like my skin is going to rub off on her couch and going to get her couch dirty. So I had, oh, she don't like me because, or my mom didn't raise me and I'm adopted. And so because they have a mom and a dad, they're treated better versus I don't have a mom or a dad and I'm treated like crap. Right? I don't have anybody. So I don't have anybody here to stick up for me to say, let her sit on that couch, versus those other kids have somebody to stick up for them so they get to sit on the couch. At 10 and 11 years old, that's how my brain processed it. Because I only had so much knowledge and no wisdom to be able to process that situation. You see what I'm saying? And so I processed it like any 10-year-old who watched Disney Channel all damn day long would anywhere. The best way I could, that's how I processed it. And so there's always been this hate that I've had for this particular auntie because I felt like she was treating me like crap. And even at the tender age of 20 something, 30 something even, I was still processing that hate that 10-year-old had accumulated for that very aunt, until the conversation I had with this elder at 34 years old. Listen, y'all, because this is profound work. And I'm sharing it with you, so hopefully you get something out of it. The conversation with her, the elder, made me realize and think back through that situation through fresh eyes. Not just fresh eyes, but matured eyes. Because I've matured. I've experienced some things in the world. Hell, I got my own fucking couch now. Okay? And this ain't my first one, right? I got my own stuff now. I got my own house now. I got my own, TV and fancy stuff. I got my own treadmill over there. I got my own stuff now, right? And I also have been in survival mode, and I've also been in thriving mode. So I know what it looks like. I can identify it because I've lived the wisdom. Game recognized game, right? And so the me now with the wisdom and experience that I've had in my life can now look at that situation back when I was 10 and 11 and process it differently. And so in that moment, I'm like, you know what? She wasn't a bad person. She wasn't treating me different. I just did not stay in her house, and she had strict rules. And because I was not accustomed to her strict rules, one, I didn't get to sit on the couch because she didn't want to have to constantly redirect me. So just sit on the floor. Also, being in survival mode, you don't have the finances set aside to be able to just go buy another fucking couch. Couches is expensive now, but back then, they was expensive too. So $5,000 dropping $5 to $6 grand for a couch for somebody in survival mode, it don't come like that, right? So you're trying to conserve and preserve what you have in its niceness, because you got people coming in and out, you got family coming in and out of town. You don't want them to be like, my house messed up. So it's rooted in people pleasing and in other things, right? And so you ain't got the coin like that. You like, shit, I gotta take care of my shit. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? And so I get it. I get it. And then here this little girl go that's coming over here that you gotta watch. And you know, she's not accustomed to your rules and how you do things with your kids. So she just like, look, you tired, you've been working all day, you've been mothering your kids, and you just trying to help out your mom and babysit your niece. And you ain't got time for all of that, you know. So you just like, girl, sit on the floor. Anybody got time? Look, listen, I'm tired. Sit on the floor. Get this popcorn, get this pop, and chill, you know. And you don't think nothing of it. But this child is processing it in her head another type of way. But me now looking at it, my auntie wasn't a bad person. She wasn't mean. She wasn't evil. She had her ways, yes, like anybody else does, have their own particular ways. But I see her in me because I've been there before. Now, let's take the other shoe and talk about when you're in thriving mode. A couch. This couch. My son can get up on this motherfucker. He can put his feet up on this motherfucker. He can do whatever the fuck he want to do. I do not care. Not saying that I don't have rules. There's certain things that I have in place. Don't eat on the couch. Like, you can drink you a soda. Make sure you put it up on the island behind the couch over here. You guys can't see it. I have certain rules and regulations about it to keep the couch nice. I'm not saying that he can just fuck it up. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he can take hot Cheetos on his hand and just rub it. I'm not saying that. But he can be comfortable in my house. You understand? He can be comfortable in his home. And if I have a guest over, in which I really don't have nobody in my damn house anyway, but if I was to invite somebody over, they can get comfortable in my couch. I don't want somebody coming to my house and not feeling like they're comfortable, like they got to stand like this, like they in a prison. And that's what it was for me when I was growing up, when I went over there. And that's why I hated going over there. You know what I'm saying? And so, honestly, I understand the difference between thriving and survival. If something happened to this couch, it break or whatever else the case may be, guess what? I have more than enough savings put away to go just buy me another one. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I'm not stressing or crying, oh my God, because I'm not in survival mode. You understand? I'm in thriving mode. And so you also have people, and I'm going to give you an example, because I've seen a video of this registered nurse. She has the dark blue uniform on. All registered nurses have dark blue scrubs. And so she's in Target, and she's checking out at the self-checkout lane, and she takes the cheap item and she puts the expensive item on top. And she scans the less expensive item, but puts the more expensive one in the bag. And the people in the back is looking at this lady doing this shit. They even let her get away with it a couple of times. That's how crazy it was. I'm like, okay, they even let her get away with it a couple of times. But this one day, the police was there, and she got caught. And they went out, they put her in handcuffs, they took her to the back, and they was like, you're a registered nurse, you actually have your uniform on. Why in the hell would you do that? And I'm going to tell you right now why she did it. She come from the hood. She went to college, she got out the hood. Her body got out the hood. but her mind is still there. This goes to show you, just because you elevate in the physical don't mean you shift your mental. And so your mental can still be in the hood while your physical body is somewhere in the suburbs. And you can be still reacting to the suburban life, and you can still be mentally reacting and doing things in the suburban life that's still with a hood ass perspective. And you've seen this. I don't know if you guys know who Cardi B is, but she's a rapper. And there was a video of her with her son. And she was like having them showing their little outfits of the day, her daughter, Culture, and her little son. And when he got to her son, she was like, you a fly slut nigga. Like, you know how Cardi B talk. And her son was like, Mommy, don't say that. Like, it was hilarious. I laughed because I'm like, Cardi B got all this fucking money and her mind is still in New York on a strip pole. Her mental is still there, but her physical body is here in thriving mode. But her mental, she hasn't done the mental alchemy that it needs to do, that one needs to do to shift all of themselves so they can show up whole. She still shows up very much fragmented and split. Okay? She left parts and aspects of herself behind while she's constantly moving her physical planes of existence beyond that. Okay? This is what I'm talking about right here. Because to go back to my story that I'm talking about is I just retrieved a fragment of myself through that process of having a conversation with an elder in my family. I just received a fragment of I collected her. And that is called inner child work. That is called doing shadow work. It is called mental alchemy. It is called knowledge of self. That is called so many things. You can put it into the today's terms, like what do you call it? You can put it in today's hashtags of spirituality, popularity spirituality, to understand what it is that I did. You understand? That is what I did. Unconsciously, of course, at first. But I had to share this because I'm like, yo, there's a lot of perspectives that we have about people that we created when we were little bitty babies. And we didn't have enough knowledge and experience. We didn't have enough skin in the game to be able to give an accurate understanding of what just happened. Because it's a lot of adult shit that was going on that 11-year-old me didn't even understand. So to go back and to revisit that and to retrieve myself and to heal that aspect of myself and to forgive my auntie for the hate that I've had for her all these years of my life is powerful. It's freeing. It's freeing. So I'm like, I gotta share this because, man, if this could help one person forgive somebody, I've did enough. Because I'm like, yo, this is powerful. You know what I mean? So, yeah, very powerful. I'm just happy. I'm so proud of myself, y'all. Oh, I've been house cleaning all day, so excuse me if my hair ain't combed and I look kind of crazy and my lips look dry. But I'm okay because I've been house cleaning today. Me and my baby. It's just been one of those days. I got on my house cleaning clothes. Just got on anything. We've been getting it together. I'm talking about cleaning walls, scrubbing floors. Just get the smell in here together. I made my own cleaners today. Like, it's been a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful day. And honestly, that conversation, y'all, was just so life changing, and it shifted me in a major way, and it relieved so much pain that I was holding in my body, because your body keeps score of the tension and the pressure and the pain and the hell that and the hate that you have for other people. You hold on to it, and instead of me taking it on thinking that something was wrong with me, it wasn't. It was something wrong with her. It was something that wasn't quite up to par in her life. It was her, not me. So it goes to show you, spiritual beings, how sometimes we can take things personal. Sometimes how we can take things personal that people do, or how people treat us, or how people talk to us, or how we experience people. And honestly, it's not personal. It's not. It's not personal. And it's actually something that's going on with that person. It has nothing to do with you. And this is where sometimes we think that everything is about us. And that is not always the fucking case. It is not always the fucking case. 9 times out of 10, it's not about you. When I was 10 and 11, that situation of me not being allowed to sit on the couch had nothing to do with me, gang. It had nothing to do with me. Nothing. It had nothing to do with my skin color, but because I had dealt with so many complications, not only in my family, but in school, with just other black people making fun of me because of my skin color and making me feel bad about my skin color and being a dark-skinned little girl, I immediately went there. You see what I'm saying? I immediately took it there because of my experiences. You see, when I got in trouble, it was, go sit your little black ass down. But when my other little cousins, who was all light-skinned, got in trouble, it was, why'd you do that? Go sit your little butt down. Go, stop doing that. Go sit down. But when I did it, it was a different kind of energy and making me think that being black was bad. Because when I got in trouble, I was called black ass. Like as if it was a derogatory word. So being black is bad. Got it. Check. Got it. It gave me. That's why I say kids don't do what you tell them to do. They do what you teach them. Because this is why you got to watch your words. Because words create worlds. And I tell my son this. Be careful with the words you use, because it can create a world that your ass may not want to live in. So be careful with your words. Like now, you hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm dead. And they're just saying that, oh, whatever you said took them out and made them laugh so hard. I'm dying laughing. And I tell him all the time, I check him all the time. Don't say that. What do you mean you dead? Clear, cut, alt, delete, my boy. Watch your words, because your words can create worlds that your ass will have to live in. They're that fucking powerful, because you are a creator and you create your path by the words that you speak. That's why one of the most powerful things that you could ever be is an author. Because the pen is mightier than the sword. Write it down, and I guarantee it's going to happen. Guarantee it. So that's the shit that I deal with. And then I started having a conversation with this elder, this family elder, and I started saying, you know, she was like, you know, I'm having a birthday. I'm going to be 84. I really want you to come. And I was like, you know, I'm sorry, but not sorry. I'm not coming. And she was like, well, I'm going to have to pray for you. Let's talk about this, because please don't pray for me. Don't pray for me. Don't pray for me. And I'm going to tell you why, y'all. Just listen. If somebody... So, how do I want to play this? When somebody who has an outlook for you that is not in your best interest pray for you, prayer is powerful. I don't care what you believe in or what you don't believe in. I don't care who you think you are or who you don't think you are or who you know yourself to be. Prayer is powerful. And especially those who call themselves prayer warriors, prayer is powerful, because what are you using to pray? Words. And words do what? Create worlds. So when somebody prays with intention to push you in a particular direction, it has power. They can move energy in the energetic realm of existence to push you into the direction that they prayed for you to go in. And let's just say that somebody who's praying for you is praying for you to come to their birthday party. But you don't want to come to their birthday party because you don't necessarily share values. You don't necessarily share interests. You don't necessarily connect with the people who are going to be at the birthday party. So why would I want to go to a place where I don't even feel a connection and comfortability? No, I'm straight. I'm not going to put you first before me, because then I'm telling the universe that I care about your happiness more than I care about mine's. You gotta watch that shit. Hell no. Hell the fuck. I don't care who you is. Sorry, not sorry, but I'm not doing it. Because when you are the creator over your life and you are a sovereign motherfucking being, the little decisions also speaks to the universe. You're speaking to the universe even when you don't think you are. Everything you do, even your actions, your decisions, everything is speaking to the universe. And the universe is saying, okay. She said she wanted this, but she did this. I'm going to go with what she did versus what she said, because she constantly doing the things that goes against the things that she's telling me she wants. So I'm going to go with the action. Okay, got it. So she wants more of experiences that she feel like that in. Got it. Okay. I'm going to send more of those experiences and jobs and housing, living situations to her that make her feel like that. Got it. Okay. Okay. Oh. She said that she wanted this, but then she chose the opposite. Interesting. Okay. Got it. So that's what she wants to experience more of. I understand. She wants more guys that's going to beat on her. Okay, got it. She want more people that's gonna use her. Oh, okay, got it. She wants to keep celebrating things that doesn't serve her back. Got it. I understand. I'm gonna send more of those experiences to her. Okay. She wants to spend all her money on a holiday that doesn't give her anything back, but just to make other people happy, even though she feels like crap at the end of the night and exhausted and broke. Okay, got it. I'm gonna send more of those situations to her. Understood. Noted. Duly noted. Got it. Okay, I understand her now. Cool. That's what you do. That's what it is. So I be goddamn if I'm gonna put myself in a predicament. Absolutely not. So I told the elder, don't pray for me. Do not pray for me. Don't do that. I didn't ask you for that. I didn't ask you for that. And I even wrote down something. Hold on one second. And this is where, hold on. And this is where I wrote down, I said, don't allow energetic influence you didn't agree to. Whether that's unsolicited prayers, I'll put in a good word for you, or manifestation on your behalf. Protect your field by being clear. I only accept energetic support that aligns with my vision for my life. And that is my new affirmation. I only accept energetic support that aligns with my vision for my life. Okay? And I'm not accepting prayer because the concept of prayer, it's because somebody else pushing their will into my life to try to control and roll the dice for you to move you in the way that they want to move you in. Because what you want for me is not necessarily what I want for me. You know. So, no. You're not my God. You're not my creator. And I refuse to allow you to influence the creative forces in my life. No. Absolutely the fuck not. No. So that's something that I realized. And also the other reason why I was telling this elder why I don't come around is also for self-preservation over obligation. And I wrote it down. I said, and this, I just talked about this. I do not put others' comfort ahead of my own well-being. I just don't. I don't. That's a boundary for me. I do not attend events, answer calls, or give my presence where I feel my boundaries will be tested or ignored. I don't. And it's okay. I'm willing to be alone until I am in environments and relationships that feed my spirit. I'm okay with that. I do not eat, celebrate, or break bread with people whose values and behaviors actively contradict the lifestyle I'm building. No. I do not participate in family or cultural traditions solely for the sake of keeping the culture when those traditions no longer align with me. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, not sorry. I do not stay in spaces where I feel pressured to adopt habits, beliefs, or behaviors that are not in alignment with my personal growth. I remove myself from situations where persuasion is disguised as just joking, or it's just tradition, or that's just how we are. I'm not being influenced and persuaded to be lower vibrational or do something that is completely out of alignment with who I am and how I operate. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I wrote this down too. I said, I do not attend events or gatherings where I feel energetically drained, awkward, or unable to connect authentically. I protect my peace above the expectations to show up for appearances. I will not lower my vibrations to match the room. The room must match or elevate mine. Then I talked about some parenting boundaries. I do not expose my son to environments that normalize disrespect, inappropriate sexual content, or values that contradict the standards I'm raising him with. I do not entertain conversations that undermine my parenting or encourage me to relax my boundaries with him. I will not, and these are all the things that I created from connections and relationships that I've had with family members and sometimes even friends, because I'm not a religious person and I don't do things for the tradition. I don't do things for the culture, especially if it doesn't serve me. I don't. And so if it's not reciprocal energy where it feeds me and I feed it, and it feeds me good and I feed it, I'm good. I'm straight. I'm straight. And so I've experienced a lot of things belonging to the Black culture. And I'm tired of the low vibrational energy. I'm done with it. It's not for me specifically. I'm not into it. To each his own. I don't judge people who are, but by all means do you. Boo-boo, do you. But me, you won't find me. You won't find me at the culture events for the culture. You won't find me because I'm tired of it. And I was listening to a video on YouTube, and this guy put it in a great perspective. There was a lady who has short hair like mine's, and she was at the barbershop getting her hair cut, and she was listening to a conversation that was being had. And so by second hand, she was processing it and was giving it to us on why Black men don't want to date Black women. So this is very valuable information given what I'm talking about with the culture. So hear me, y'all. Hear me, please. She said that this young boy came into the barbershop, and he was a college student. He had just graduated, and everybody was really excited and happy to see him, and like giving him hugs, dapping him up, wiping across his head, like, "What up, man? Where you been? Woo, woo, woo." And he like, "Man, I've been doing good. I graduated from college and I'm getting married." And they was all like, "Congratulations. Oh, we excited for you. Woo, woo." And he was like, in a down kind of way, like, "Man, thanks, appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it." And they was like, "What's wrong?" He was like, "Well, I'm dealing with issues about it because my family not happy." And they was like, "Why?" And he was like, "Because I'm dating a white girl." And they said, "Okay, well, why did you choose a white girl?" And he said, this is exactly what this young man said. This is what the lady said, verbatim. She said that the young man said that he was raised in the hood, and he was raised in the ghetto. His family used to, big family fights. The women in his family, real ratchet lifestyle, real ghetto, all kinds of things, twerking and dancing all the time, and they never take anything serious. People are fighting, people are manipulating each other, and it's always a fight at the barbecue, somebody drunk and fell out. That's all he ever known. His mom living in a one-parent household, not having enough, always struggling. That's where he was raised. That's all he knew, that lifestyle. And he never knew anything other than that. And so he talked about excuse me, how he went to college and how he started meeting people from other cultures, other backgrounds, other traditions, other races. And these friends were different. And on holidays, sometimes he would go to their family houses. You know, he started dating and he would go to their family events, and he just was having like, that was loud. That was so loud. He just was having like these huge culture shocks. Like, what? Because he was seeing everybody was married. The barbecues was enjoyable. People were supportive. They was like, oh, just come to my company. I'll hire you. Don't worry. Like, it was just different. There wasn't no fights. There wasn't no argument. People weren't getting sloppy drunk, passing out. The events were actually enjoyable. The kids wasn't fighting and arguing. It wasn't differences made between the children. It was like love, enjoyment, connection. It was great. And it was something that he had never experienced before. It was all new to him. It was just a difference. And he talked about how this girl that he chose to marry was like, if you're in the loudest room in the world and you take some soundproof headphones and you put them on, and everything gets quieter, it starts to raise your peace and lower your cortisol. And now you start to feel something you never felt before. He said that's how his wife made him feel. And honestly, as a Black woman, a melanated woman, everything in me understood. Everything in me got it. And that's the moment where I was like, you know what? Touche to you, bro. You did what was best for you. And a lot of Black women, melanated sisters, that's a huge reason why a lot of them choose outside of their race. Now, me personally, I have decentered men. I focus on myself and my journey. But honestly, if I was to choose to engage at any other point in my life, I would say that I would probably date outside of my culture, my usual traditions and race as well. Not for the sake of, oh, I want to date this type of person because this is going to give me some cool points. I don't give a fuck about none of that, big dog. I don't care about none of that. Honestly, and I go back to my example, I am tired of the drama, the fighting, the ratchet behavior, the manipulation, the immaturity. I am tired of, and today, you know what they call it? Black fatigue. I am tired of dealing with the shit. People are not emotionally intelligent. You can't have an adult conversation with them because most people look like adults on the outside, but on the inside, they're still inherently children. And when I say that, I can use myself as an example because I just talked about how I created a perspective of my aunt when I was 10 and it was still existent in me at 34 fucking years old. I still had that perspective of her that I accumulated when I was 10 and 11. until I grew up and looked at it and shifted it. And it shifted my energy. And a lot of our people who are melanated are walking around here with perspectives that they accumulated from when they were young, from bad experiences that they had or that wasn't necessarily good. They took them personal because they didn't have enough data to process it at their young ages. And as adults, they're not healing because they're not revisiting those things. And they're not learning how to shift those things. And they're not learning how to do the work that one needs to do to elevate. Because I didn't have enough skin in the game till now. I judge my mama and my grandmother who adopted me in ways where I demonized them when I was younger. Even in my 20s and 30s, early 30s, I demonized these people because they didn't do this and they wasn't like this. And now I understand that I'm 34 with a 12-year-old. Now I see what they was dealing with me. Now I get it because I am experiencing stuff that they experienced when I was younger. I get my mom on a whole nother level and why she was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm letting you adopt these kids because I don't want to raise them. I understand her. I don't have hate for her. I get you, boo. I get it. And I'm not judging her. I legit get it. My grandmother, her choosing to raise me when she already had 7 kids and 24 grandkids, and she had this big ass house and had all of us, Big Mama's house. All of us live with Big Mama. I get it. I get it. You know? And so because I'm a mom now and I get a baby, it's innocent, it's a kid, I get it now. You understand? It's things that I couldn't possibly understand when I was young, when I accumulated these perspectives. Oh, they didn't teach me this. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. I'm mad. They did it to me. They didn't prepare me for life. They could have did better. And I'm pissed. I did it, y'all. And I'm being so real and so transparent because I've been in that position where I blamed everybody, and I've been in the victim seat where I was victim about everything. The world is this and they did this and they did that. And I had to flip that motherfucker on his head and realize, they did the best that they could with what they had. Now, whatever they didn't do, it is my responsibility to do it for myself. So if it calls for me to reparent myself, I just got to do what I got to do. Right? And whatever tools that I can use to help me do it, fine, I'll do it. Got it. I need to show up and be mother, father, and child. Got it. Got it. I started taking accountability for myself and realizing, okay, first of all, I'm not perfect. There's a lot of shit that I don't know that I have to show up and do in my life right now that I'm totally unprepared for. But I'm going to figure it out. I first step to healing is admitting, but I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to do the best that I fucking can. Whatever I need to do to start, I'm going to do it. Okay, fine. I need to get, some books. Cool. Okay, I'm going to get some books and I'm going to read these books and I'm going to study and I'm going to take notes and I'm going to start here, right? I'm going to start here. I'm going to look at some YouTube videos. And I'm going to start there. And I'm going to work with these things. And I'm going to work with myself. And I'm going to teach myself. And I'm going to set new habits. I'm going to learn skills that I don't have. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do my astrology. I'm going to do my numerology. Those things are going to help me out. You know, I'm going to do the best that I fucking can to create some tools to help me elevate myself. Yeah. Okay. It's no one's fault. It's no one's fault, but it is my responsibility. I am now my responsibility. I have to stop blaming my mama and my daddy and my grandma. They didn't do this and they didn't do that. Okay. They did the best they could, what they had, and I have to take it from this point forward. You have to take it from this point forward. And continue to raise yourself. And I was just talking to my grandmother about this piece. And I was just saying to her, how this generation of women have it significantly harder than the previous generations, because the men are not as present in our homes today in a positive, doing their part kind of way like they were back then and even way back. Because how it was, hey, I'ma show up and I'ma do half as the woman, and you show up and do your half, and then we put the two halves together, we got a whole, right? And so women took care of all the feminine stuff, and the men took care of all the masculine stuff. And they met in the middle. Nowadays, majority of homes, and I can speak for myself, I'm a mom, I have one child, and I'm single. And I don't have a man in my house. So I am forced to not only do and show up as a mom and do all the mothering things, the divine feminine things in this world, but I also have to show up and do the divine masculine things in this world too. And the thing is, when it came to school, when it came to my household and being prepared for this world, I was prepared on how to do the feminine stuff, but not fully. So I not only had to raise myself on how to show up and be a divine feminine, but I also am learning this is science to me. The divine masculine, and I'm talking about energy, not sex. I'm talking about energy. And when I talk about energy, let me pull it up. 1 second, y'all. Okay, I'm back, y'all. So I found what I was looking for. So this is what I'm talking about. Energy. This is what I'm talking about. Traits and characteristics, okay? This is why I say you split yourself down the middle. On one side, you're divine feminine, and on the other side, you're divine masculine. Whether you are a woman or a man, you have to learn how to integrate and harmonize these two aspects of self. Before you can do that, you gotta activate it. And so, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Some of this stuff I was taught, but not a lot. So I had to activate a lot of this feminine energy. I used to play victim. I don't know, I don't have this, I don't have that. I used to be the resource queen, look for everybody to do everything for me. Then I learned how to be creative. I learned how to use what I got to make what I wanted. I learned how to be creative. I learned how to step into my creativity. inspiring, flowering, playful, expressive. And there's more aspects to this: nurturing, loving, intuitive, all of this. This is just the first one that I found, but it's a lot of different ones that share different stuff. Hold on, let's look at this one. See what this one says. Empathetic, creative, vulnerable, expressive, resting, right? These are different aspects of the feminine. Empowered, but versus disrespectful, insecure, codependent, clap that T, needy, over emotional, over apologizing, weak boundaries, shame, guilt, feeling unworthy, conforming, or being manipulative. And I think about the culture that we live in, the fuck today. It teaches you, if a man not doing this for you, manipulate him into doing it. They're overly emotional, crashing out all over the place, codependent, or I need a man that's a doctor because I always want to be a doctor and I don't know how to do it, or I ain't got the guts and the focus to be able to do it for myself. So I just want to date somebody who can do it so I can admire them. Disempowered, over apologizing, weak to no boundaries, always feeling shame or guilty. Baby, I done been there. I done been on this side. I ain't perfect. I done been on this side. Being naive, young, not knowing enough. I done been over here. But baby, life has taught me some shit. And put some fat on me. When my grandma say put some fat on you. Okay? You don't think fat me greasy? That's some Mississippi shit right there, I swear to God. If you know, you know. But my grandma taught me that. But because that the elders couldn't teach you this, don't mean that they were bad people either. It don't mean that they was demons. It don't mean that you a demon because you pulled away from them because you're spiritual either. But it just means that we're different. They demonize us. We demonizing them. You. And fighting and I don't want to be around you. Oh, you think you this, you Listen. We ain't even got to go there. We ain't even got to do all of that. We just different. And it's okay to be you. It's okay to be me. I'm going in a whole nother direction. And I can't allow y'all ways to influence my life. I'm not saying that the culture is what the culture is. I'm not demonizing it. I'm saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. It is what it is. I'm just saying that I don't belong there. I ain't never belonged there. Man, being raised up there, I was always in hell. It never felt right to me. This was me as a kid. You want to see me? This was me as a kid. This is exactly me. I always had my fucking head in a book. Always reading, always into knowledge, always history. I was always into like genealogy, studying. That was always me with the glasses on. Like that was me. And my family was like partying, dancing, fish fries, barbecues, drinking, smoking, doing their thing. And I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm not saying that that's good. I'm not. But I'm just saying that's just who they are. And guess what? That's just who I am. And it's okay to be who I am. It's okay for them to be who they are. I just don't mix well. It's like oil and water. It's like we opposites, hot and cold. And that's okay. Hot and cold is not supposed to touch. And that's okay, baby. Because hot couldn't be hot if it touched cold. And cold could be cold if it touched hot. It's something totally different, something new. It's lukewarm. So it's not calling either side good or bad. It just is what it is. This ain't about morals. This is about authenticity. This is about sovereignty. You feel me? And so activating this energy, and I'm going to show y'all this other one too. Activating this energy, and take a screenshot if you need to. But activating this energy and learning how to elevate it is key to wholeness. Then learning how to harmonize it, key to wholeness. And on that note, I'm in an hour of recording. I'm going to cut it right here because I'll be talking to y'all for a whole nother hour about myself, because I use myself as a mirror to reflect, to heal, to reflect and heal. I use my life and my experiences as a mirror. So naturally, I do that for myself in my journaling and my writings and different things. So it would make sense that I would do that with you all too. So that's all I got to go off of. It's my own experiences. And sometimes when I'm looking at movies, videos, TV shows, and other stuff, I may use bits and pieces like I did, tied in the Cardi B situation and the nurse and whatever else, because it shows you that I have the experience under my belt, and I'm able to process, see, and analyze and connect and see the patterns of things and pull it over. Like, that's how my brain works. It's very quick with it, but anywho, if you made it this far, I want you to put an emoji in the comments. I want you to put specifically the mirror emoji right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but just write mirror in the emojis and you'll see the mirror. Put the mirror in the comment section below. And yeah. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for listening, and I will see you all during my next share. And I'm out.